So I think the Civic Scholars Program is this really cool and beautiful and kind of weird combination of both building a community and also building a thing.
So when I came into Civic, I thought of civic engagement as something I could compartmentalize, so it was more of like an extracurricular thing, whereas Civic is really good at bridging civic engagement from an extracurricular standpoint and an academic standpoint.
My civic project was dedicated to the concept of prescription drug recycling. That is taking unused, unopened drugs from nursing homes and turning them back to the community at low cost for those who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford them.
So my civic project was working with Provident Life Crisis, which is a suicide 24/7 hotline in St. Louis, on their promotional materials and raising awareness and funds for their work.
So last summer I worked with the Feminist Women's Health Center, both as a health advocate working with patients in the clinic and also as a Lifting Latina Voices Initiative intern.
I was an intern with the Link, Minnesota, an organization in Hennepin County, and so I was working with male youth who are on probation, and so they're a part of the program as a part of an alternative to juvenile detention.
And so for me, I was working for an arts foundation and for a farming nonprofit and for a kind of a nonprofit planning startup. So just a lot of weird pieces that are all related to architecture, related to design, but are definitely in different parts of that process and different parts of development.
My Civic Scholars project, I was in Beijing working at a nonprofit law firm that works specifically with migrant workers, abandoned children, and abandoned elderly people.
I saw nutrition is interrelated with so many different factors in people's lives.
So each person has this task of building and creating and developing this nebulous project that's constantly spoken about. But at the same time, you're coming together every single week with a group of absolutely inspirational and really nuanced thinkers from all around campus, people interested in different things and coming with totally different perspectives.
Fall break experience was interesting because I think we saw community engagement on a lot smaller of a level than we did when we were in DC, which was really great to see. And I think we still saw it on different levels because at one end we saw how artists with studios on Cherokee Street are thinking about how they're engaging with their community versus like talking to the mayor, how she sees herself engaging with the entire St. Louis community.
One overall lesson is that there's not one civic agent and there's not one way to be a civic scholar or to be a civic leader. And it's everybody around you is willing to let you crash or willing to support you when you're crashing and burning. And there's no expectation of perfection, which I like. There's yes, everything will fall apart. Things fall apart, but also, these are things that you might want to do once things fall apart. This is who you might want to talk to when things fall apart.
As I'm applying to architecture firms, urban design firms, landscape architecture firms, through Civic, I kind of have this head on my shoulders of whatever work I'm doing, as long as it's kind of supporting something that I also support. If I can get behind this mission, the goal of the firm, or of the organization, then I'm happy. Civic gives me a good sense for what that kind of long-term goal I'm looking for is.
I'm interested in going to business, running large-scale, either for-profit or non-profit organizations that ultimately have some impact on the world. And what Civic's done for me is really made me consider how is it that through the little day-to-day interactions and decisions that you make, you can incorporate an aspect of humanity into them that I feel is just all too often lacking.
The program has made me a lot more respectful of different people's backgrounds in a way that, again, not anything too terribly novel, but the ways in which we were allowed to engage and truly see ourselves in these communities, I think, will be something that kind of sticks with me for the rest of my life as well.